Picture this. You're in a high-stakes meeting. Your boss is staring right at you. You just need to say, "Let's discuss the project." Simple, right? But right before you open your mouth, your inner monologue decides to scream, "I'm so hungry, I want pizza." You try to suppress it. You take a breath, and you say, "Let's discuss the project." Absolute cringe. But wait, it gets worse. Later, you're at dinner with friends. Your brain is randomly thinking about your ex, Sarah, but you just want the salt shaker. You say, "Can you pass the salt?" Your friends stare. You want the floor to open up and swallow you whole.
Welcome to Boxley Unboxed. Today, we're tearing apart one of the most embarrassing glitches in the human brain, the Freudian slip. Why do we say the exact thing we are desperately trying not to say? And more importantly, how do we stop our brains from sabotaging us in public? To understand why your brain betrays you, we have to look at what's actually happening when you misspeak. A Freudian slip isn't just a random verbal typo. It feels like a hijacking. You know exactly what you want to say, but at the last millisecond, an entirely different word pushes its way to the front of the line. When you called the project a pizza, it wasn't because the words sound similar. It's because two parallel tracks in your mind suddenly collided. You have the polite professional track and the raw, unfiltered track. Usually, the professional track wins, but when you're stressed, tired, or trying too hard to hide something, the unfiltered track hits the gas pedal.
So, who's driving that unfiltered track? Over a century ago, Sigmund Freud argued that these slips are your deep, unconscious thoughts breaking through. He believed you subconsciously hated the project or secretly wanted to talk about your ex. Picture these thoughts as little, angry, spiky guys trapped in a box in your mind, constantly hammering at the lid until they escape. But modern psychology has an even more frustrating explanation. Psychologist Daniel Wegner figured out exactly why. He called it the ironic process. Basically, the harder you try not to think about something, the more you end up thinking about it. If I tell you, right now, do not think of a white bear, what did you just picture? A white bear. When you're actively trying not to say Sarah, your brain assigns a mental security guard to monitor that word. But by constantly checking, are we thinking about Sarah? Your brain keeps the word Sarah perfectly loaded in your active memory. And if this is making you rethink every conversation you've had today, drop a comment below and stick around because we're about to fix this.
Now, the common advice for this is terrible. People tell you, just think before you speak. So you try it. You're at a party, determined not to say anything stupid. You meticulously pre-plan every single syllable. You analyze the sentence structure. Your brain is sweating. And the result? You completely freeze mid-sentence. You stare blankly, your mouth hangs open, and you create an awkward silence so heavy it has its own gravitational pull. Overthinking doesn't stop the slip, it just paralyzes the system. So what do you actually do when your brain is loaded with a word you can't say? We need to use psychology to bypass the glitch. Here is your 3-step framework. Step 1, the paradoxical release. If you are terrified of saying a specific word before a big meeting or date, go to the bathroom, look in the mirror, and say it out loud 3 times privately. Pizza, pizza, pizza. By giving the forbidden word an outlet, you satisfy the brain's monitoring system. You release the pressure valve so it doesn't explode in the meeting. Step 2, the preparation window. Stop focusing on what you're trying to avoid. Your brain's GPS doesn't understand the word don't. If you think, "Don't say Sarah," it just hears Sarah. Instead, mentally rehearse the exact target words. Pass the salt, pass the salt. Give your brain a positive target to lock onto, rather than an obstacle to dodge. Step 3, acknowledge and laugh. When a slip inevitably happens, do not panic and do not over-apologize. That just highlights the mistake. Own it immediately with humor. Say, "Well, apparently my brain has other plans today." Laughter instantly diffuses the tension and shows confidence.
Your brain is a complex, chaotic machine, and sometimes it's going to blurt out the wrong thing. But once you understand the ironic process, you stop fighting the white bear and start steering the ship. Try the paradoxical release next time you're nervous. And hey, If this video helped you understand your own mind a little better, hit that subscribe button. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a very important pizza to discuss.